Yeah, that makes sense. Is that something that you take, that takes priority for you? Like how much free time you're going to get, not just, for yourself, but also to, continue, uh, you know, following your passions, giving back to the community, things like that. Is that something that you take a lot of priority, you take very seriously?
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm in a privileged position in terms of like a lot of my hobbies do lie around my passions as well. So, even when it's like I'm writing, like my writing tends to be based around my childhood experiences and like experiences now. And if there's like a young black person from a working class background, these stories may inspire them. And it's not even just in terms of like, oh, look where he's going to. Just in terms of like representation and seeing somebody and seeing themselves in a book. You know what I mean? In a book, in a play, in a short film or whatever, really.
Yeah. Yeah. To be fair, like, I don't know. I think it's crazy, like, because I never really got into books growing up, but I think in the last couple of years, more so through Brian, to be fair, just giving me every single book in the world to read. But you start to appreciate, like, there really is so much potential out there, and it's like, to be fair, like Moses kind of touched on it briefly in the last podcast episode. Like, to everyone else who's listening to this, if you haven't seen that yet, check that out. But it's like, me similarly, I never really understood my blackness until uni. I kind of looked at other people. I'm like, damn, like I've really got a lot to learn. There's really a lot of things that I'm overlooking in terms of my own heritage, my own culture. And what book was I reading the other day? I think it was 50 Cent's book. I forgot what it's called. He literally just put it out, and I was reading it like 2 years ago.
It's in the Power. What's it called?
I think Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. Is it? Yeah. And I was like, raw, like, like we actually are like sick as human beings and as black people as well. It's like, I really want to get more invested in that, not just in terms of books, but the culture in general. And yeah, I just think it's nuts. Like, I'm looking at your Instagram page now, my brother's keeper book club, and I'm like, I love seeing stuff like this. I love seeing organizations like this that kind of allow us to dream bigger, I guess, and to realize that we really can become anything fundamentally, like literally can do anything.
Yeah, it's so key. It's so key. I think that's also when it comes down to the onus being on us as well, in terms of going back to our schools, to our schools, to talking to our younger cousins, because, it took somebody to make me realize even part of my potential to get me to here. So imagine how much of an impact we can have as well. And I feel like a lot of the time we could be like, oh, I want to wait till like when you start your grad scheme, I'm going to wait till I get like senior in my role. When you're in university, I want to wait till I get a grad job and so on and so forth. Whereas like, we don't realize like how much us going into these places is actually going to impact these young people. Like this, they don't really care about like, of course, like it is impressive to be able to say, oh yeah, I'm an MD or wherever, but just you being in the position you're in right now is still going to be inspiring. I'm sure there's a lot of young people who would say, yeah, I want to go to like a university like Bristol, or even I just want to go to university. Where it's like, until you meet somebody who's gone to university, you don't really know you're capable of that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what? Monday morning, I'm going to drop my brother to school, man. You inspired me. Because it's true. Like, the thing is, and I'm the same as well. I'm always like, when I make it big, when I get a certain level of status, that's when I'm going to give back. Because at that point, I have proven something. But like, fundamentally, you prove something every day by like every step of the way, even getting to Bristol, even getting, A star, whatever people get A levels, like every step is significant. And there are so many things, like when I was in year 9, I never would have thought I'd get the GCSEs that I got. When I was doing my GCSEs, I never would have thought I would have A levels I would have got. And there's so much, every step of the way that people can look up to. And I guess it's kind of bridging that gap. Because even me, myself now, I'm looking at it, like I look up to guys like, Will Smith or something that's mega successful. But there's kind of not a skill gap, but there's like a gap between, I don't really know who's in the middle, who's making it here and there, who's kind of doing this and that. You kind of just look at yourself at the bottom and you look at man at the top. And I think it's definitely important, now that you say it, to kind of fill that gap, because otherwise it's like, how do I transition from here to there? you don't just wake up a millionaire or you don't just wake up successful. And you need to, yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Like, it's important to kind of bridge that gap. And it's nice to see that you found ways yourself to do it as well.
Yeah, yeah. Like, definitely. And I feel like there's, especially with like mentors, we underestimate the importance of a personal touch in terms of like having that genuine connection with your mentee. Like, my mentor, guy called Jelani, who went to the same college, he went to the same secondary school college as me, was in my brother's year. But I got in contact with him again when I applied to KPMG. And since then, we've been keeping in contact regularly. And it's been a case where he works in a different side of professional services to me. But he's been so impactful in terms of my personal growth over this year. And this isn't even just about like careers-wise. This is career-wise, creative-wise, just life in general. But, you know, it's a case where I could be caught up with this idea like, oh, I really want to work on writing. So, you know, rather than me going to Jelani, I might start shooting off messages to Inwai Elums or Kaide Awumi because they're where I want to be. But it's also a case of like, of course these guys have great advice to give me, but they don't know me as a person yet. Do you know what I mean? I feel like when we're looking for mentors, we often get caught up in the idea that, oh, we need to automatically go to somebody who's in the exact position that I want to be. But there's still wisdom we can get from somebody who is in a position in and around that, or even maybe just in a completely different area, but is still very successful because there's so many transferable soft skills.